Welcome to That's the Word, wholesome tales for the whole family. I'm Father James Yamauchi. Today's story, Call It Off. The preacher opened the letter with some concern. It was from some friends in a city where he had an upcoming engagement. They extended him well wishes, then got to the point. They were concerned for his safety. The city was not exactly friendly to the preacher. They were writing to inform him that they were discussing plans for how he could excuse himself from this engagement and perhaps spend time in safer places. The preacher smiled as he set the letter down. He greatly appreciated their concern, but he knew what he was called to do. He was going to the city for a reason. He immediately wrote a reply. He thanked them for their concern, but he begged them to not interfere with the plans. He let them know that he was joyful at the prospect that he would submit to God's will in this matter. As he mailed the letter, he recalled the lesson that he had learned long ago, back when he was a child. Missionaries had arrived in town, quite a few of them. He was in the house when they arrived. They did not seem to be in a good mood at the time. After they sat down, the leader asked the rest of them, "What were you discussing on the way?" The room fell silent. The others looked nervously at each other. The leader broke the silence. If anyone would be first, he must be last of all and servant of all. The leader then turned to the young boy and called him over. The boy stood in the center of the missionaries, and the leader put his arm around him. He said, "Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives not me, but him who sent me." The preacher had never forgotten that lesson and had striven to receive whatever God sent him throughout his life. And now, as he was being taken to the city, he was prepared to receive what God sent him for his death. For the preacher was not coming to the city of his own volition, but under arrest, sentenced to be thrown to the lions in the Colosseum. However, he begged the Christians of Rome to not plot his escape. He was eager to accept what his Lord and Master had in store for him. He was eager to follow that leader of missionaries and imitate him in martyrdom. A preacher who once was a small boy among the followers of Jesus, named Saint Ignatius of Antioch. And for this week, that's the word.
Today's story was suggested by Father Lawrence. I don't know if he actually listens to the podcast, but he gave us a great suggestion.
Absolutely. And Father Lawrence is very dear to our family. He was our chaplain when we lived in Mississippi. He baptized John Peter. He's my confirmation sponsor. He was at my ordination and he preached at my first Mass. And so thank you again, Father Lawrence, for this story suggestion. When I was reviewing this podcast episode, it reminded me of my first year of studies in Rome, the spring semester theology. We were studying the church fathers in that class. And we read through the letters of St. Ignatius of Antioch. And it was fascinating. Right around exam time in June, that also corresponded to when, in the Liturgy of the Hours, the church's prayer, the letters from St. Ignatius of Antioch were read during that period of time. So it's very fascinating to walk with St. Ignatius as he was making his journey to Rome.
Now, the story that we told today, apparently some modern scholars aren't too keen on it, but several of the church fathers say that Ignatius is the boy from the Gospels. We're going to side with the church fathers, mainly because it's a cool story. If you enjoy That's the Word, please share the word. You can see the story extras for this story, Call It Off, at thunderrock.org, where you can see a document called The Martyrdom of Ignatius, which is an ancient document detailing Ignatius of Antioch's martyrdom. Thunderrock.org is also where you can sign up for our weekly newsletter and find our email and social links if you have any feedback or story ideas like Father Lawrence did.
Thanks for listening, and join us next Wednesday for another wholesome tale for the whole family.